linear equality notes. Alright, so by the end of the class today, you will be able to solve inequalities and determine the solution on a graph. Okay, that might not make sense right now, but it will in a minute. Alright, so go ahead and get on Google Classroom and get on your bell ringer and practice some multiplication. I'm gonna give you all about 5 minutes. Do as many as you can in 5 minutes, okay? So whenever you all are on there and ready, let me know and I'll start the timer. Are we all on there? It's on the Khan Academy Google Class or bell ringer. You see it? Alright, are ready? Go. And you can choose whichever one you want. There's the 5, 10s, the 4s, the 2s, there's all kinds of them on there. So just choose one that you didn't do on Friday. And if you need to, you can use the multiplication chart right here, or you can pull one up on your Chromebook. Which one? Oh, here we'll go. Multiplication chart, images. And there you go. You have 2 minutes left. Remember, I said do as many as you can in 5. Does that help? Multiplication chart. You got about 1 minute. Keep going hard. book the one that you're working on? Yeah, what Carl knows. Which one do you want? Which one? You want a Hershey's cup, or Hershey's, or Reese's? Hershey's. Okay. Teacup? Did you have a good birthday weekend? Did you have a good birthday weekend?
Yeah.
Which one? Hershey's? Which one do you want? Reese's cup? You want almond joy? Alright, good job on that, guys. Thank you for working on your bell ringer. Alright, so now we're gonna get into our notes. I have printed off some notes for you guys. You can be done with your Chromebooks. Okay, so linear inequalities. Now, last week we were talking about what inequalities were and what each of them meant, right? So you know that the greater than is what? What side does the greater than go to? And we have our posters right there. So if I have, let's see, what does this say right here? What's that? Zach, we tell me what that one is? 10 is greater than 9. Good. And then we have, what does that one say, Jasmine? What does that one say?
11's greater than
Okay, so you read it backwards. 11 is greater than 8, but it also says from this way, 8 is less than 11.
Yeah.
Okay, so we learned what those meant last week. This week, we are gonna learn, let me get this off. We are gonna learn how to, solve a linear inequality. We're gonna start off with the video. Just follow along with your notes.
Alright, so today's lesson is on linear inequality. This is the last section in chapter 5. A linear inequality is similar to a linear equation, but it uses an inequality symbol. If you guys remember, inequality symbols look like this. That is the less than, that is the greater than, and you can always have the or equals to. The solution to a linear inequality is all of the ordered pairs that make the inequality true. So we're going to start with an example. I give you an equation of 2x minus 3y is equal to 15. Here I give you 4 ordered pairs. The 2 is considered the x, the 5 is considered the y. So we're going to plug these in, and you're going to tell me if the statement is true or not. So I get 2 times, well, x is 2, so 2 times 2, minus 3, and I'm replacing y with 5, is less than 15. 2 times 2 is 4. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15, less than 15. So I get 4 minus 15, negative 11, is less than 15. Is this true? Yes, negative 11 is less than 15, so this ordered pair is a solution. Yes. Okay, let's try the next one. I get x is negative 1, y is negative 7. Let's plug in. 2 times negative 1 minus 3 times negative 7 is less than 15. So negative 2 plus 21, remember 2 negatives make a positive. I get 19 is less than 15. Is 19 less than 15? No, so therefore this ordered pair is not a solution. Two more. I have x, whoa. I have my x is 3, my y is -4. So I have 2 times 3 minus 3 times -4 is less than 15. 2 times 3 is 6. -3 times -4 is positive 12, is less than 15. If you add 6 and 12, you get 18. Is 18 less than 15? No, this is not a solution. All right, last one, we have x and y. So 2 times 0 minus 3 times 0 is less than 15. 2 times 0 is 0, minus 0 is less than 15. Is 0 less than 15? Yes, this is a solution. Those should be very easy. You're just plugging in, solving, and answering if it is true or not. All right, now let's talk about graphing. There are 3 steps that you need to follow. Step 1 is to make sure that you put it into slope-intercept form. Make sure whenever you divide or multiply by a negative, you flip the inequality. You're using the same rules as before. Now we need to graph the line. You're going to use a solid line for anything that has a less than or greater than or equal to symbol. So if it has the equal to symbol, it's solid. You're going to use a dotted line if it's just less than or greater than, for no symbols. Okay? Now, you need to shade it. Part of your graph is going to be shaded, sorry. So we have shade above if you have the greater than or equal to, and you're going to shade below if you have the less than or equal to sign. All right, so let's go over those steps one more time. You have put it in slope-intercept form, then a solid if it's an equal to, dotted if not, and then shade above for greater than or equal to, shade below. Let's try our first example. 2x minus 3y is less than 15. Solve for y. I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides, giving me -3y is less than -2x plus 15. Divide everything by a -3. Do you guys remember what happens when we divide by a negative? Our sign flips, so it's now a greater than symbol. Negative divided by a negative gives me a positive. 15 divided by -3 is -5. My n in this case is 2 over 3. My b is -5. All right, so graph your -5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're going to go up 2 over 3. I can't go up 2 over another 3, so I'm finished with my dots. Now let's look at step 2. You are going to use a solid line if there's an equal to sign. Is there an equal to sign right here? No, there's not. So it's going to be a dashed line. So dash, 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 dash. Even though it's dashed, please make sure to remember your arrows. All right, now it is greater than, so we need to shade. Greater than is going to be above. Is this section above or is this section above? It's definitely this section, so make sure all of this gets shaded in. Now, if you want to know what the solution is, you could put any ordered pair in the shaded area and plug it in and it would be true. Now, if I plugged in something over here, is that going to be true? No, because it's not in the shaded area. All right, we are going to do one more example. Flip it over. Now, looking at number 1. This is already in slope-intercept form, so I'm ready to do m equals 1/3, b is equal to -5. Again, graph your b first, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're going to go up 1 over 3. Do as many points as you can. Alright? Is this going to be dotted or solid? It's going to be dotted because there is no equal to sign. Now am I going to shade above it or below it? Because it is a greater than sign, we're going to shade above. So make sure you neatly shade as much as you can above it. Okay? Alright, and that is about it. If you feel like you're confident, you may turn the video off. If you feel like you want one.
Alright. So, your printed notes there has all of that information in it. Maybe hold on, let me zoom in. There we go. Alright, so we are gonna work on solving the rest of these, okay? So, number 2, let's look at number 2, and I want you to follow along with your printed notes, but I want you to work out the problem with me on your whiteboard, okay? Alright, so number 2, is it in y-intercept form already? Is y over here by itself? Yeah, it's over here by itself, right? So we can just go ahead and graph, okay? Remember, when we graph, we have to have a slope and a y-intercept, okay? So, according to these, which one do we graph first? Do we graph negative 2x or do we graph negative 1 first? Which one? The negative 1. We always graph the number that's last first. That is our y-intercept, okay? So, let's start here at 0 and go down 1 because it's a negative 1. Let me switch this color so you can see a little bit better. Okay? So I know that my b is negative 1. That means my m is negative 2 over 1. Okay? So my rise over run is negative 2 over 1. Okay, so I have my y-intercept. Now I have to have my slope. My rise over run. Okay, how many am I going to rise? 2. Good job, Jasmine. So I'm going to rise 2, but it's a negative 2, so that means I'm going to go down. 1, 2. How many am I going to run, Lachey? Huh? You're going to run, how many are you going to run? 1, good. So I'm going to run to the right 1. And I'm going to do that until I run out of graph. And then I can go opposite. So I went down right. So now I can go up left. Until I run out of graph. Alright. Now, let's look and see if we have a dotted or a shaded line. That is a less than or equal to. Is that going to be a dotted or a solid line? Less than or equal to. That be a dotted or solid line? You know? Solid line. Good job, Zach. Thank you. So it's going to be a solid line. Okay? And it's less than. So are we shading above or below? It's less than. Below. Good job. So, let's see. Right here. This way. So you shade all of that. Now when you shade, it doesn't have to be perfect, and it doesn't have to be super dark, okay, because you still want to see your lines. Just lightly shade and move on, okay? Alright. So number 3 is a little different. because y is not by itself. So we have our y right here, and it's with all this other stuff, right? We've gotta get it by itself, okay? So, just like solving an equation, we practiced this on Friday, remember? We've got to get y by itself, okay? So what do we need to move first to get y right here by itself? And if it helps, you can draw your line. Okay? Alright, so what are we gonna move to get y by itself? Okay, we have a -2 that we need to move, yep, what else do we have over there? We have a 5x, yep. So, -2 is with y, right? Because right now it says -2y. I'm just gonna do that last, okay? I'm gonna keep that the way it is, I'm gonna do it last. So if we're gonna take care of -2y first, what are we gonna, or last, what are we gonna take care of first? The 5x, okay? It's a positive 5x. I'm gonna subtract 5x on both sides. Okay, because remember we talked about this the other day. What I do on this side of the line, I have to do on this side of the line, right? Okay, we gotta keep it balanced. Okay, now, over here, I've got 12 and -5x. Can I combine those? No, why? What's with 5 that's not with 12? X. Yep, we cannot combine them because 5 has x and 12 does not. So that means it's just gonna stay as is. When I say that, it's just gonna stay 5x plus 12. Easy as that. Okay, and I'm gonna bring down my -2y because I've not used it yet. Alright, and here's my last step. What's the very last thing I do to get that 2 away from that y? Divide. Good job, Zach. Divide by 2 on both sides. That 2 cancels out over here. So now I just have y. Now I am, okay, so this is something that you cannot forget, okay? I'm dividing by a negative number, right? That 2 is negative. So right now the sign or inequality is greater than, but we're dividing by a negative number. So we're gonna flip that sign and it's now gonna be less than. Okay? It's only when you divide by a negative number. Alright, so now we've got to divide the other side. -5 divided by 2. Well, will 2 go into 5 evenly? No. It's actually just gonna stay 5 over 2. Our minus signs cancel out, so that becomes a positive number. And don't forget to take your x with you. Okay? And then you divide 12 by -2. Go ahead and finish that out. Divide 12 by -2. You can use your calculators. And what did you get? 12 divided by -2. Did you get it, LaShawn?
What is it?
12 divided by -2. I think did you put 2 on top? So when you divide two numbers, your big number's gonna go on top. So it should be -6. So it should look like this, when you type it in your calculator, that's what it should look like,
Oh,
okay? Yeah, that's okay. So we got -6, okay? So, now we can graph, we're done. Y is by itself, we can graph. Alright, so when we graph, remember we always start with that last number, so what are we gonna start graphing with? What number are we gonna start graphing first?
is this the last one?
Right here with our new,
Oh.
yeah, -6. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Put a dot. So that means our B is -6. So that means our M, which is our slope, is 5/2. Okay? So 5/2 is also our rise over our run. So from that -6 dot, what am I gonna do? I have to get my slope. So I'm gonna have to go up how many? How many do I rise? 5, good. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, and you run 2. Good job, guys. Yep, you run 2. Hold on. I made one too many dots. Oh. There we go. Alright, and I'm gonna do that until I run out of graph. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Okay? Now, is this gonna be, I'm making too many dots here and then one erase. Alright, just ignore those dots. There we go. Alright, so this is, here, let me get a different color. It is less than. So is it gonna be a dotted or solid line? Look at your notes. Just less than. Good, dotted. A dotted line. Okay? And it's less than, so which way do we shade? Above or below? Yep, good, cause it's less than. Good job, Devin. Alright, good. Okay, so who answered those questions? So, let's see. That's answered some questions. That answered some questions. She answered some questions. There you go. Thank you guys, good job. Alright, so let's do number 4. Alright, so with number 4, what do we have to get by itself? We're solving for what? Huh? Y by itself, good, good job. So, we can draw our line if that helps you. So over here we got x minus 4y. What are we gonna move for? And remember, if you want, if this helps, you can put a 1 in front of that x. Okay? So, what are we gonna do first? Not 4. Let's move the 1x first. So the 1x is positive right now, we gotta cancel it out, so we're gonna do negative. Okay? Can I subtract 8 from 1x? Can I do 8 minus 1x? No, good job, Jasmine. Because 1 has x and 8 does not. So that's gonna leave -4y over there on that side, minus 1x plus 8. Okay? And the very last step, what are we gonna do, Zach?
Divide.
Yep, good job. That cancels that 4 out, and that leaves y by itself now. Alright, we divided by a negative number, so what happens to the inequality? It's less than right now, it's gonna do what? Let's show you what's that inequality gonna do? We divided by a negative number. Yeah, we divided by -4. So the inequality right here is gonna do what? You know, it's gonna flip, remember? So it is less than right now, and it's gonna flip to be greater than. Okay, so now we've got -1 divided by -4. And then we have 8 divided by -4. Okay, I want you to use your calculators and solve that.
Okay,
Yeah.
solve what?
-1 divided by -4.
Where's that? I got it.
You got it?
So -1 divided by -4,
Uh-huh.
it's 0.25.
Okay, push math, enter, and it'll give you your fraction back.
1/4.
Yep, 1/4x. Okay, and then 8 divided by -4.
8. -4.
Yep,
-2.
yep, -2. Alright. What are we gonna, okay, what number do we start graphing first? Two, it's the very last number, so it's negative, so we'll go down, so 0, 1, 2. Okay, and my rise over run is what? 1 and 4. So I'm gonna rise 1, so 1, and then run 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rise 1, 1, 2. Hold on a minute, I'm messing up. Okay? Now is that a dotted or a solid line? It is, oh, look again. It is just greater than
Oh, yes.
dotted.
Look at it.
And it is greater than, so we're gonna shade which way? Below or above? Above, good. Good, good, good. Alright. We have all this down. I'm gonna scroll up. And I want you, for number 5, I want you to, on your whiteboard, I want you to tell me if that is gonna be a dotted or a solid line. A dotted or a solid line. Number 5, tell me if it's a dotted or a solid line. Dotted or solid line. So look at the inequality. And right on your whiteboard, dotted or solid. That means 4 equals 2. So dotted or solid line. When I say go, whoever flips their board around and shows me their answer first will get a piece of candy. If it's right.
I don't believe that.
Alright, we got it all? Ready? You got it written down, Jasmine? Go. Dotted, yes, good job, Zach. Which one did you want? Alright, so there's the first step. You have what the line's gonna be. Okay, next step is to solve for y. On your whiteboard, I want you to start solving for y. Okay? I want you to start solving for y on your whiteboard. Sorry.
I got mad at my dad last week.
Yeah.
Came to my birthday.
You didn't want to come to your birthday?
No, he came to my birthday Saturday. My birthday was Saturday.
Yeah.
He said, I have to leave this night. Okay. Like, see you later. My brother texted me, like, oh, we're going to see you. Rub it in my face. So my dad called my mom and said, you go next time. I was like, okay, whatever. So I'm like,
Did that hurt your feelings?
oh, we did.
Or was
It's
it-
just fun.
No, I'm sorry.
He's like, nah, no.
No, I'm sorry. I hope your birthday was good other than that.
Oh, it was. Friday was fun.
Good.
Oh, weird. It's just tough. So it was like, it was fun. It was like ice cream. They took ice cream and put it on my face and it was in my hand.
Good. Alright, let's solve for y number 5. Alright. So what was the first thing that you all did on number 5? It's the first thing you all moved. Number 5. So the first thing I would've done, I would've put a 1 right there in front of my X. Yeah, good job, Jasmine. Then you move your 1. Okay, so that's gonna leave that negative y. And then we cannot combine 8 and 1x. Alright, are we done? Jasmine says no. Jasmine, why do you not think we're done? Because, yes, good, because there's still a negative with y. Okay, so that lets us know that there's a -1 with y, right? So we gotta get that away. So we're gonna divide that out. Divide that out. Now we divide it by -1. What's the inequality gonna do? Remember? What did I do there to it? I flipped it, yeah. Yep. Alright, so then I solve. So 1 divided by, or -1 divided by -1 is just gonna give me a +1. 8 divided by -1 is gonna give me a -8. Okay? So now graph. What are we gonna graph first? The -8, yep. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then what's my slope, Zach? What's my slope? 1. Yep, 1/1. So I'm gonna go up 1, right 1, and do that until you're out of graph. Okay? And like Zach said, it's gonna be a dotted line. Actually, it's a solid line, yeah. Yeah, that is equal to, it's a solid line. And it is gonna be graphed below. Good job, Jasmine. Good. Alright. We are running out of time. So, you can keep your notes. We'll finish them tomorrow. I want you to answer this one question on your whiteboard for me though, before you can leave as an exit slip. So on your whiteboard, answer this question for me. Alright, I want you to answer A or B on your whiteboard before you can leave. A or B. Good. You can pack it up now. Good job. A or B. Good job. You can pack it up now. Good job. You can pack it up now.
So do we just write the letter?
Yep, I just wanted to know if it's A or B. Alright, so. Or equal to is gonna be what? Remember? The solid. Yeah. Good job, you can pack it now. Good job, Lachey. Alright, good job, nice start today. Guys, if you want, you can put your notes in the first block tray.